What's up, everybody? Welcome to this episode of Bullets, Barbells, and Barbecue. I'm your host, Brett. I got Chris, the artist formerly known as Heavy C. I got Matt, Deuce, single arm.
1.5.
1.5. It's coming. It's on the comeback. And we got Mike in town.
I'm back
He's back.
for now.
Luckily for just a short time.
Yeah.
Fortunately, it tasted salty.
How's the great state of Texas?
It's good.
What's
Still
the
hot.
temperature?
It's 90s, high 80s. I had to check, and I know better because I grew up here, but I had to check the weather before I flew this morning. Like thinking it's
cold
gonna
in
be
the morning.
fucking snowing.
It's cold in the morning.
I swear.
I've been out of the state for 4 days. Don't know what the fuck's going on.
Dude, I got so used to heat.
50 degrees this morning, I think. Something
That's
like that.
Yeah.
that's super cold. It won't hit 50 for months for us. It'll be 70 for a long time, and then yeah. But it's been really fun. House is built, complete. We've been in there for a little over a month. Still doing stuff in the house. Like
How many border crossers could you fit in your house?
well, you can fit 20 in like a 10 by 10 shed because that's how they live.
Because that's not far from your house.
It's not. It's like 2.5 hours to get to the border
Yeah, that's
In a
not-
car.
in a car. Yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, they're packed into a semi truck, so it's like a car.
Yeah. I mean, there was one that jumped off the train that passes the front part of the property, and don't know what happened to the guy, but that was months ago. They paused the train, and police are out there, and Border Patrol's out there catching the guy. So,
Oh, the train didn't run him over?
no. He was
Oh.
he was hitching a ride through San Antonio, through New Braunfels, where we live, and I don't know if they gunned him down. I don't know what happens, but
Yeah, is there a point where they just open it up like boar hunting down there, like just wild hogs? You can just shoot them.
luckily on our property,
You can
yes.
shoot hogs on your property. Right?
Yeah, I got a video actually. I got to show you guys. We saw some. They're called javelitas. Have you heard that term? It's little baby pigs. That's what they call them. I don't know if it's a Texas thing or
I thought it was javelina.
whatever.
You live there.
Tomatoes.
I've eaten a burrito at Lena's, so I've had.
I've had that too. Yeah,
I've had
that's
a
good.
Lena's burrito.
Yeah.
Same
So
thing.
some javelinas in
those
college.
burritos live there on the property.
What
and
were
they
their names?
Run around.
Did you shoot him?
Easy.
No, we were on the way to school, and I didn't have a rifle with me. I had the 9mm in the dash of the Tahoe.
You don't have a fucking gun rack in your truck?
No, well, I was taking the Tahoe. The
But
family.
you got a knife, right?
Yeah.
In the teeth.
Story about that. Did I tell you about this? The boar guys hunting.
They
The
kill him
knives?
with a knife?
Yeah,
Oh,
they do.
I'll do that.
Okay, that's a whole
That
other
sounds
thing.
fucking it.
We're gonna
Rambo,
talk about
Rambo
that.
style.
I'm fucking in.
But
Rambo.
it has been really good. House is awesome. Land is awesome. Our neighbors are wonderful. The gym is great. I got a AC in the gym. A lot of time in the skid steer doing dirt work and stuff.
Did you
on the
buy that
house.
one or you rented?
No, it's the folks that own the company that built the house. They have all their construction equipment there, kind of parked in a Connex, like back in the corner of the property, the 30 acres.
What's the biggest piece of equipment they have there that you could use without getting in trouble?
They have one of the I don't know what they're called. It's a
the big front
front
end
loader,
loader?
but that
Yeah, it's got the-
Caterpillar
it's
that
got
Oh,
has
the big
pivot
like
joint?
payloaders?
the hinge. Yeah, like you could like put two sedans in there, but
I would just be digging holes and filling them in.
it's super fun. It's honestly, when you have that much land to manage, I was just telling Matt before we started that you get to, it's like in your house, you get to after your house is built and you're kind of sitting in the room like, oh, that's fucked up, or we need to fix that, or whatever. It's the same thing with like the land. You start seeing, wow, I didn't know those 2 trees are down because there's thousands of trees, or, and you start seeing shit like that. So there's always something to do. I took the skid loader a couple weeks ago and put some horse manure in there, put it in the garden, and it was supposed to be like a 10-minute trip, drive down to the front of the property where the horses are at, get the poop, dump it in there, be done, dump the poop, and I'm driving it back, and I'm like, well, I'll fix this, I'll fix that, I'll fix the road here, I'll do this. And I was in there for like 6 hours. You just keep finding stuff, but I need to invest in a real tractor too, because it's way more practical than I thought. People told me
So do you have to mow this thing?
there's so much rock. So actually, no, there's 4 acres of hay that grows naturally, and it was really well kept for years before we bought the property. They used to lease it. The horses go back there and they eat it all up. So I mean, it's amazing. There's 6 horses out there. They're the only things that have access to the hay. There's 2 donkeys and the cows, but they're pinned up for now. And they go back there and they just clean it up. And there'll be like some sunflowers that grow in the front yard. Every couple of weeks there'll be another 6-foot tall thing. They find the same sunflower and just eat it all, and then it comes back another 6 weeks later. So they have their routines. They eat our hay for a couple of weeks, and they go to the front pasture where there's like 20 acres out there, and they eat that hay. So we haven't, and the rest of it that's cleared out where the house is, there's probably 2.5 acres or so where it's cleared. It's down to like rock and dirt, and stuff's starting to grow back, the natural grass, but it's so far away from the house. I'm not really.
That's like real like tufty stuff, isn't it? It's not like
Yeah,
a
it's
yard
not
you'd
soft.
see
Like here,
right?
it's you have to wear shoes outside in Texas.
So are you going to sod that, or are you just going to keep it how it is?
So we're actually talking to a guy about that right now. There's so much rock you can't just grade it out and till it up and plant or throw sod down. You're gonna have to get the bigger rock out there, dump topsoil, and put sod down. And all we're gonna do is we're not doing the whole cleared portion. We want like somewhat of landscaping in the front, and then a fenced-in area in the backyard where the pool's going.
Giggity.
That will have real grass in, but everything else looks pretty rough, and it's dirt.
Or you just put like some turf down?
We thought about that too. She's got a friend in Houston that has a really small backyard in like a neighborhood, and they put a pool in and they trimmed it all in with that, and it looks awesome.
I had a client that actually here in Omaha that did that because her backyard would never grow,
Yeah,
and her dogs would always end up tearing it up. So she put turf down, and her dogs could shit and pee back there, and it didn't.
and you can hose it off, like
Yeah.
it's pressure wash it off. So I mean, there's
It's like field turf down,
Yeah.
Yeah.
legit field.
yeah. So there's so much. When you guys get out there, you'll kind of see like there's so much space that you want somewhat of a manicured area, but we don't have like an HOA. We don't have street facing view where people are gonna be, oh, that house has shitty landscaping. Like it's beautiful house, beautiful land, but it's rough, right? It's like desert, it's rock. But we do want some area to have like a drive, like a roundabout around like the tree in the front yard that we kept when we cleared all the trees out, because it's just really beautiful cedar tree that's out there, and in the backyard with the pool. But everything else can kind of fuck off, and we'll just play around on it. Over time it'll grow in naturally, but I'm not worried about planting seed or throwing sod out and just waste of money. Probably die anyway, honestly.
And then you got to mow it.
Oh, that too. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not interested in doing that either. The animals take care of so much of it.
Right. Because do you have to mow that hayfield at all? The horses just
They
go-
literally eat
like
it
you
all.
don't- right, yeah.
It'll grow. If they don't eat it, it grows, whatever, 4 or
Mm-hmm.
5 feet tall, and then it'll die in the winter, and then it'll just grow back. But we like the horses around our house.
Yeah.
How do they do with the shooting?
They don't care at all. I think a handful of them were. I think 2 or 3 of them were
War horses.
probably
Fuck yeah.
in like the Vietnam era.
Yeah.
No, they were on a gun range or something like that. Like where there was a rescue that was attached to a gun range for these horses, so they heard it all the time. But they don't give a shit. You can shoot all day, next to them, on them. They don't care.
Have you shot on a horse yet?
Not yet.
Fuck yeah.
They probably can't hear anymore.
They probably can't either. They just look at you like, I'm pretty sure that human-shaped thing has treats, and I'm going to go that
I'm
way.
gonna go that way. Is that a carrot? All right, I'm in.
Yeah, I think so. They're super friendly though. It was funny. I think I told you guys we got another puppy, right? We have 2 dogs now. I don't know if I told you that last time.
No.
So we have another dog, same breed as Frank, like a Dutch Shepherd, but mixed with a Pyrenees, Great Pyrenees. So she's totally different mentality. Like my dog Frank is literally a therapy dog, and he's super docile and chill. This other dog, super cuddly, will let you pick her up and stuff. But if she sees something that's not the family, she will let you know that it's there. Totally different. Like
Yeah, they're like
Pyrenees.
the Great Pyrenees, are like livestock guardians.
Absolutely. And that was one of the reasons why we got that, is to be with the kids, the dogs, the
Yeah.
animals and stuff, to be more. And she's already does that and she's 6 months, 7 months old. And we're not breaking her of those habits. Like we want her to be that way. So when Courtney and the kids go on a walk in the morning, she rucks for a couple miles in the morning around the property and checks stuff out, make sure things are still, fence is good,
Yeah.
whatever. She goes with her and she makes it known. But the other night we're letting her out. Courtney was letting her out, and it's like the tree line behind the house. We've got like the house lights and stuff that are shining out there. And one of the horses, Freya and Lagatha are both really big, black, Amish. I can't remember the breed.
Like a draft horse kind of thing.
They are, but they're bigger.
The Percherons.
Yes, Percherons or whatever they're called.
Patron.
Yeah, those shaped like
Hispanics.
liquor bottles.
Yes.
But it's
Very
pitch
curvy,
black,
clear.
and then the dogs are out there, and Tejas is the dog's name. Go figure. And she's not paying attention to anything, and then Courtney just like there's this 2,000-pound animal. It's like, hey, like this comes out of the wood, out of the woods, and she's like, Jesus Christ! And it comes back inside, and the dog's like, oh fuck, that'll kill me. And just came back inside, like whatever. But the dogs are fine with the horses. The donkeys aren't halter trained yet, but they're super friendly. But they need to get out and start walking around. The cows.
Just a couple of asses.
Yeah.
The donkeys do well with the dogs.
Yes.
Okay.
They do. And I was curious about that too because they'll murder snakes and
Yeah,
coyotes.
because like most donkeys, I think, unless donkeys and mules are raised around dogs, like they view dogs as a threat to the pack, and so they're super defensive.
Yeah, and I think it's also different that we have our hands on them all the time, and the kids do too. And then the dogs are always with us, so they kind
Right.
of
So
feel
they've
like,
been
you're like
acclimated.
okay.
Like, oh, these things are
yeah.
okay. Yeah, yeah.
And we have the two, and Jim and Julie have got 4 or 6 dogs. I can't remember. They're huge. They're 200-pound dogs, all of them. They're massive animals. So they spend all their time with that stuff, and taking up the animal and livestock responsibilities for the most part. So
We have a couple of friends that have the Great Pyrenees as livestock guardians. They have 3 of them.
oh yeah,
And they have any number of like trail cam videos or other pictures of the dogs fucking with coyotes. Like they'll get a coyote and they'll wound it, and then they'll like almost play some kind of game with it where one of them will grab it and they'll drag it down to one side and then drop it, and the other one will grab it and they'll drag it back down the other side, and they'll like throw it around
kidding.
and they'll just fuck with it. And then one of them, their one that passed away, when they'd go out there, like the coyotes will send in a runner to try to get the livestock guardians to go one way, and then the rest of the pack will come around the other way. And so the one dog would go out there that way, and then the other dog would like run towards the pack, but would like limp to put on like, hey,
show.
come get me, I'm wounded. And like the group would come in, and the third one would come around behind him and just come in and just start fucking him up. And then the other dog that was chasing the runner would actually loop around and come back in. So the 2 dogs would corner him with the one that was pretending to be wounded, and then these dogs would just start fucking up coyotes.
Dang.
And they would just come out there, and they were like 5 or 6 coyotes.
we haven't seen many
That's crazy.
coyotes. We've heard them, but we haven't really seen any since we've moved in. And I really think it's because the horses and everything else that are larger animals that poop around the property and they're peeing and they smell them and they're walking around so I don't think they're really that close. They're still there, and I'm not taking that for granted. Like they're still snatch a kid or something. But when we first got there, before the foundation was even starting to be built, we saw this one that's about as big as my oldest dog just look at us in the barbed wire, the fence line, eye contact for like 30 seconds, and it was like, nah, and it's like walked off. And then the other time, one just took a shit right in front of us when we were driving up the road. Like, this is where I live. I'm super comfortable being
Did you
here.
get out and shit on top of it?
I should have. So there, it worries me. And then the other day that we had taking the kids to school, we saw the 2 female boars and then like the 4 like baby ones that run around. So they're back. We haven't seen them in a long time. But the coyotes, I think, for the most part, in the woods, because you can hear them, I think are still at war with the boars, and they're winning because Tejas will go out there and find like a femur of something, and she'll be chewing like the flesh off. Like she's a man-ass dog. Like, yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
So you got your gym all set up.
Gym set up. I just need 2 more horse stall mats to, rearrange some things back there. Other than that, the equipment's in there.
I got a couple next door for sale if you can get them on your flight.
Checking in on Southwest, baby.
Yeah,
This is my carry-on.
Yeah.
Just roll them up and tie them. 2
Just
bags fly
ratchet
free.
strap them, and I hate moving those fucking things. It's the worst piece of equipment to move. It sucks. But yeah, the gym is set up, and deadlift platforms in there, racks in there, all the bars, a log, some strongman equipment in there, and it's again the mini split, the AC in there. it's
Fucking money.
Oh my gosh, 74 degrees in there. And I still find myself opening the door just to have some fresh air and some sunlight and stuff. But like when it's 115 degrees out there, that thing is money.
So what do you think? There's one piece of equipment you wish you had?
If I had room, damn. I still think, I'll caveat this, I can do everything I need to as far as powerlifting goes out of my rack. Like I'm built in a way that the rack is fine for me. I don't need special spacing. I'm good to squat, bench, deadlift out of it. But if I really like competition powerlifting equipment still, like the rack and the bench combo. Like I like it. Like it's just maybe it's not. It's kind of a different feel, I guess, for the sport specifically. That's something that I, again, really don't need it because of the rack, and it doesn't matter. And I got that adjustable bench that you kind of help me pick out for everything. I still want one of those if I had some room for it. But everything else over time isn't too much of a stretch, and I've got room to kind of get whatever. But gym equipment specifically, I just like the powerlifting, like competition style, like quality equipment like that. You can't ever go wrong. Perfect barbell. I bent a barbell, by the way. Did I tell you that?
Oh, where's the bar from?
Texas Power Bar. I bent the one. I was front squatting, dumped it, fucking hit the pins on the rack. Whatever. Literally got another one like the next week. That green one, same thing. Another power bar, same exact everything. But I still have it, obviously, because you need a shitty bar.
You need that bent bar.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know if
I'm
this
gonna
is gonna
experiment
work.
with a stupid rack pull and dump it with chains and see if whatever. But I don't know why I get stuck on the competition, like the powerlifting setup stuff. I mean but it just feels right to me.
What were we talking about? What do you think the most? That's what. What do you think the most underrated piece of equipment is, and if you had it, or if you do have it, or if you wanted it?
Horse stall mats.
Honestly,
Underrated.
yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
How many times have you had idiots spill shit in
You
your
want some
gym? And
good
it's-
pinch strength? Fucking horse stall,
I
man.
already got that, baby.
Well, I always thought they were the horse stall mats were awesome back in the day because when we first opened our training studio, there wasn't like a ton of training studios around, but everybody was like buying this expensive gym flooring, and I was like, "What are you talking about? You can buy these fucking mats at Tractor Supply at that time for like $30."
I've seen how big a horse is and how hard they kick and how much they weigh. I think you can drop 135-pound deadlift just fine.
Yeah, but I was like, why are these people spending all this money on gym flooring? Like, spending
it's
$5-6 a square foot or whatever.
How much was it when you opened to get one of those sheets
They were like $30 because we bought like a pallet.
literally double the price now, brand new.
And now a lot of them aren't even like square cut anymore.
Really? What do you mean?
Like they're all just like fucking. It's kind of like 4x6.
like they're just kind of yeah.
Like the original ones, the nice ones, are like you can like lay those fucking down and they're just like perfect. Like
I've been seeing a lot too that have like the bubbles on them, like the texturized,
they have the bubbles on one side and lines on the
Yeah.
other side. Those are the ones that aren't square.
Oh, okay.
The original
I
ones,
have none of those. By
the
way. I
original
have,
ones like
the
we
old
have are like they're smooth on the one side and
Yep.
they're like textured on the bottom
Yep.
side for like grip.
Yeah.
They're 3/4 inch, heavy as fuck, like you said. But like at that time when
They're
people
so
were spending, I mean they're so much cheaper now. Why anybody would buy gym flooring?
I think so. Going back to the question though, I really think that if you didn't spend close to $500 on a barbell, you're wrong. I really think
So you think a quality barbell is underrated?
I think when people are getting a barbell, they just say, "I just need a barbell," and I think that they undervalue, I guess, the importance of like a really good barbell. They all know that a barbell is important, so it's not really under.
I don't think most people could actually benefit from a good barbell.
I disagree.
Well, here's what I'll
really
say is when I very first started lifting, I just bought a bar at Walmart.
Yeah,
back in the day,
like a
and there
cap
was, like-
barbell or whatever.
Not even cap. It was just some. I didn't even think it had a name.
The Walmart.
Those Olympic weight set.
But but there was like zero knurling. It was just like there was just like faint lines in the bar.
Yeah,
But then you
Yeah.
go the opposite end where Elite Fitness came out with their like aggressively knurled bar.
Which is fucking awesome.
But then you had people who has the balls to go to a place like Elite who's known for hardcore lifters or whatever be like, this is just too aggressive for my hands.
mitten.
You go in there and say, thanks
Yeah.
for everything you've done to my hands.
So they had to make different bars.
Yeah.
But so that's where I'll say like that part, a super cheap bar, because then you like it doesn't stick to you. You know, it doesn't stick to your shirt like when you're trying to
I
squat.
think so.
like-
That's why I was disagreeing, like the safety factor of like somebody learning how to squat and figure out the bar.
But
placement and
Titan
stuff.
is-
There's like a minimum to it, but I
but
think-
Titan has kind of changed the game on
right.
bars.
You know, dude, I've got my deadlift platforms from them too. Half the cost, and it's incredible
Right.
versus the Rogue. It's an amazing piece of equipment.
Right,
You
I-
have one in here too, don't you?
I have those platform. I do have some Titan platforms. Yeah, that one I have is a Rogue one, the deadlift platform I have, and then I have that big Elite one with all the band pegs. on it.
Okay, yeah,
But that's like a whole specialized
yeah.
thing
Yep.
from Elite.
Yep.
But I don't know. So you think a good quality bar?
Yeah, you need that. I don't think you should skimp or undervalue the importance of having a nice barbell. You know, like spend some money on it.
I think belt squat.
That's a big spend.
That's a huge spend.
Yeah.
But I think when talking
Now,
with
are
Aaron,
you talking cable or are you talking like
Plate loaded.
I mean, if it was up to me, I would have like the beefy version like you have over here with the racks.
that was
like
custom?
if you had the
That
floor
looks, yeah,
space.
it looks like the
well,
West
Westside kind of did that for a while. Then I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't really know what's going on with Westside
It's
anymore.
not that
After
big of a
Louis
spend
died.
anymore. You can get cheap ones that are plate loaded
I mean, you get like the Titan
off your
one,
rack.
Yeah, I was gonna say
and
that.
you get some of the
Yeah.
arms. That
Well,
come
but that's
up
what I'm saying.
off the
There's
rack.
been a lot of technology recently because obviously people have a lot of home.
Yeah, but I think like, in talking with Erin, she's
And so, you can hook it to your rack and it has like a
But now, if you've used like a pivot point one like that, or if you used a cable one like the Elite one, they are two very different.
Yeah.
obviously.
But no,
yeah,
I get what you're saying. But yeah, you can get one. But yeah,
I think
like
the
Matt
belt
was
squat,
saying,
though, is very
you're not going to benefit
underutilized.
from. Some people won't benefit
right.
from
Like I think
Yeah.
fancy one.
a lot of people could like assuming if we assume that some people are going to buy like the basic, like they're going to buy some kind of cage, some kind of barbell,
Yeah.
and weights.
So yeah, we're just saying. So you're saying over the top, outside of the ordinary.
Well, I mean, if you, people are going to buy that thing.
I'm going
but
to agree
I
on the
think-
belt squat because I have an at-home gym and that's the only thing I always think about buying.
I think it's something that
Really?
is
Yes,
super
I'm gonna agree
underutilized
on that.
because you can do so much with it. You can do a lot more than just some variant of a squat with it, right? Like we've done deadlifts with it, like pulling on the cable to actually deadlift with.
Good mornings.
With different bars. You can do good mornings. You can do marches. You can do
yeah.
you can do box squats. You can do a regular squat. You can do a regular pull motion. You can do
Now, have you done that with the plate loaded one too, or just the cable one you're talking?
just the cable one for most of it. I've done the plate loaded one, all kinds of like different squat variants. The plate load one, like the Titan one, it's just there's nowhere to grab like a bar. So if you wanted to put like hold on to a bar, so even if you're not don't put any weight on the bar, you could still hold a bar on your shoulder and squat out of that custom rack that you have over there.
Yeah.
So you still get the movement pattern of a squat, but you're saving your back. You're saving a lot of that.
Well,
wear and
even like
tear.
right now, you can't grab a squat
Right.
bar. So, but you can still train.
But you can still do that. So I've used that for a long time when like still having like a bunch of back problems. Like pulling from the floor has all been painful for years. But I can put a bunch of weight on that. So I can put 225 on a bar and then another 200 to 300 on the actual belt and just crush yourself like with effort. But it doesn't, you get down and you're like, oh, my spine doesn't feel like it's going to explode out my back.
I think another one that I was just thinking about what I was going to do in here either tomorrow or Friday, but sandbags. Like a
Sandbags.
strongman
So-
sandbag, not like the cylindrical, shitty, cheap Walmart, but like a real, like a Cerberus bag or a Rogue bag or whatever, whoever else makes them now. Iron Mind, all those, like they're just so practical for overall. I mean, it hits everything. Like it doesn't not hit a thing on you. I mean, it hits your pecs when you're squeezing the back. It hits everything you're doing. If you're, carrying kids around, or you're like a, landscaper, you're like a office person for a career, whatever it is. If you are able to like functionally pick up something and walk around and move with it, I just think that it goes miles for general back health. I'd say primarily back health, but like conditioning. And I don't think that people look at, I really need a bag for my gym. I don't compete in strongman, therefore, why would I pick up a bag? Dude, you absolutely should do it. it doesn't have to be an event that you compete in to just go train it, and it's fucking fun. Like, it's just learning how to load is one thing, learning how to move with it, putting it to your shoulder, pressing it. You can do tons of shit with it. I can kill myself with a bag in like 20 minutes if that's all I had access to.
Sandbag was the runner up to belt squat.
Yeah.
And it was like, I still have, I don't know, I probably got it 15 years ago, one of those brute force sandbags.
Mm-hmm.
And I got the biggest one they had, which I think will hold up to 180 pounds of sand, but it'll hold 5 different bags that you can put in there. So you can load up all kinds of different weight in there to get as much weight as you want to do stuff with. But I think that thing was fucking awesome.
Yeah. I think
Because you can take it wherever you want. You can train wherever you want. Like, I've taken it into gyms and trained. I've taken it down to parks and trained. Doing the 75 hard, like, there were some times I just grabbed that and like, hey, we're just going to go walk for that.
You know, the other
carry
day I
that
took, I usually load like the bag over a bar, or sometimes I was actually putting the drop pads or whatever, crash pads on top of my reverse hyper and loading that up to my reverse hyper and stuff like that. The other day I just like, my truck was backed up to the garage. So I'm just going to load on the tailgate. And I did that for like 45 minutes, you know? And so it's literally all I did. I deadlifted and then did that for 45 minutes, and it was like, that killed me, right? But I don't have, I keep thinking about this question about like home gyms, you know? I mean, I know you have room to do anything you want. You have everything in here. For every sport in here, you can train whatever you want to do. But if you have limited home gym space, I just, you know, thinking about what else you need in there. If you don't, I think the movement stuff's really important because everyone is going to have a bar and have a rack or have something, but like farmers, it's something that you just kind of have to actively move and get yourself out of the gym and not just be so two-dimensional about it and just go move laterally and do other things. I think it's really important. It overlooked.
What do you got?
I agreed with Matt with the belt squat. I think it's probably
2 points belt squat.
Yeah.
But that means you have to squat more, and like that's, I mean, come on.
I mean, you could bench out of it if you want.
I could do that
Fucking
with a
get
shirt.
creative.
I could bench with a shirt out of it.
All right, honey, pull the pin.
What we do is
take it.
what we do is you put the neck harness on
Yeah.
on your head.
God,
You hook it to the cable setup, and then you
Slam.
bench.
You know, I think also an axle is a good piece of equipment.
When if you don't have room, even the fat grips.
Oh, good point. Actually,
Fat
that's
grips,
a better one. Yeah.
Towels. There was
Fat
a
grips.
dude I trained that used to work out at 24 Hour gazillion years ago when I went there, who wore gloves, and he walked around with like the foam.
Oh, the pool noodles.
No, it wasn't. It was like packing foam, like the stuff you'd use to make a seat cushion, but it was like 3-inch thick foam.
Oh, and just grab stuff.
And he would
with
just
it. I know
grab
what
the
you're
bar
talking
and he
about.
would just use that. They were like little 4x4 squares of this foam.
Oh,
And
it
he would
wasn't
just
like
walk
Edward
around.
40 hands.
Not, almost. But he would
I
just
think,
walk
I
around
think
with
fat
that.
grips are
and use-
huge. That's a good call. The very first strongman show I didn't have an axle to train with, and that was one of the events. It was like whatever it was for a minute on the axle. I'm such an idiot. I put fat grips on the barbell that I had, not thinking about what the axle actually does or doesn't do, like not rotate or whatever. So it was kind of a different thing. And I was trying to learn how to do a continental clean, and my belly was hanging over my belt.
That pinch is bad.
Oh, dude. Like, I've snagged my gut on a log and an axle, and it's like, woo, ow. But with a barbell, I about cut off my fucking abdomen. Like, and I was like, God. But then I got really good at accuracy to get launching it off my belt because of that stupid fucking thing, because it was life or death. Like, if I fucking miss, I'm done training. Because if I pinch my shit and I'm bleeding out of my belly button for 2 days, like, I better be really good at catching my belt. And I am now. I'm incredibly accurate at catching my belt with an axle because I have so much room for error that I think in my head that, this won't even hurt. But I do think that axles are pretty good. But the fat grips, especially for space on a dumbbell, doing
And they have 2 and 3
pull-ups and shit, like, yeah, for sure.
I've always been a huge 45-degree back extension. I
Yeah.
think is the most underrated piece of equipment. You can do them on a glute ham raise. They're fucking way harder on a glute ham raise. So I'll say that too. If you need to combine both for space wise,
Yeah.
but a 45 degree is
You know,
I
if you're
think
like a
huge.
500-pound deadlifter and you can't do like a comfortable multiple sets of 10 on that thing, you probably.
I used to watch
fix it
videos
back.
of Chuck Vogelpohl with a band around his neck holding a 100-pound medicine ball doing 45-degree back extensions.
Seriously, that's
And that guy pulled like 830 at like 240.
there you go. You don't need much. For
I
that
watched
to
him pull
mess you up.
fucking 400 cold at a seminar. After he told me his rib was bothering him from pulling 700. He's like, oh yeah, my ribs been bothering me pretty stiff. And then he's like trying to explain to some girl like how to fucking pull sumo. And he was like, no, you just got to get pulled in tight and then just go. And he just like rips 405 off the floor like it was like the bar. And I was like,
Puts out a cigarette and walked up to the bar.
dude. And his hands are
Hold
like
this.
permanently, his hands are permanently curled like a barbell.
Oh, that's
Just
a cool
like-
problem to have.
Just like walks around like this all the time.
Hold on. Snap. Snap. All right,
Yeah,
we're good.
like a GI Joe.
He's the same dude that when they made those bars that stuck out off the back of the racks, they could take bands and loop them around there and come back to pull the bar away from you.
What do you mean? Wait, what do you mean?
So they were horizontal bars you could bolt to the front of the rack. So he
Okay.
could run a band off the pegs around
Oh,
those
so
and then
it's
come
taking it away
back.
from
So
you.
it's pulling the bar away from you.
Oh,
He's like, oh no, it's a great setup. It adds about 400 or 500 pounds of tension. I was like, dude, okay, how about like the fucking common person? Like,
yeah, you'll die. Like,
I
yeah.
was like,
That's not common.
yeah, I was like, maybe.
Yeah.
And he was like,
These guys here, the two guys here, very
yeah, I was
common
just
here.
like, I was like, oh yeah, but I was like, yeah, but no, I think a 45-degree back extension, or if you can like a glute ham raise, but doing that exercise that's a massively like underrated exercise because people
Yeah,
just look at it like, oh, it's like a body weight exercise, or
I think they do
yeah,
it.
yeah.
and you can do like pauses with them, you can do all kinds of shit with them.
One of the biggest things for my, like, I would have really weird. I'm not a intelligent person about what muscles where, but like right above your hip bone, whatever the muscle is that goes, like not your hip flexor, but like in your back, like from your spine out there, there would be times where I would unrack a squat and I could actually squat, but once I put the weight back in the rack and it got the pressure off my spine, those muscles would light up around like my hip bones, if you know what I'm talking about, right? You know, lower back area. So I started doing single-legged back extensions like that. You know, tons of sets of 5 on both, and I haven't had that pain for years after I started doing that. Kind of balancing that out. It's such a minor thing. No weight, no bands, no.
Yeah, it doesn't have to be crazy, and you could change your foot placement. You can go close.
Oh
you
yeah,
can go wide.
rotate your foot, like how your angle is. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, that's probably mine. I mean, I like everybody's suggestion. Like the belt squat's huge, especially for traction in your hips. But I think I prefer the cable one tremendously over.
So how would you do a 45-degree back extension without the machine if you had a home gym and you had minimal equipment?
a stability ball and put your feet against the wall?
Okay.
So you basically put your wiener on the stability ball.
Yeah, you can
then-
put your feet under the rack because my rack. Like,
You can put it under the
yeah,
rack, or I've
yeah.
seen people where they have a board screwed to the wall, so they can put that as like a little, you know what I mean? Like
Yeah,
a little
yeah,
ledge.
absolutely. For your heels,
A
are
little
on it.
ledge for it,
Yeah,
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 like-
yeah. Okay,
But you can use a stability ball.
I think that's a great idea.
and then it gives you the ability to, and you can go wide. You probably have to go wider to keep your balance. But yeah, you can do it that way too.
I might actually do that. Yeah, that's awesome. I do like that's the thing. That is something that I'm missing in my gym that I use every time I.
Well, or I mean, I've seen people where they do that crazy thing where they fucking wrap their legs around the bench, and like at their
Fuck
waist.
off.
You know what I'm talking about? They basically put the head of the bench. They put like right at their waist, and then they wrap their feet like kind of around the bottom of the bench, and they'll do like a back extension
I'm
that
probably
way.
too fat for that or something. There's
Yeah.
no way that's not happening.
Yeah, you should get a glute ham raise.
Oh, man, I love my reverse hyper, that Scout or whatever it's called. The
So
small
okay, so what we used to do is when I had just a reverse hyper, that homemade one I had.
one. Yeah.
We would do them. Somebody would hold our feet, but you could go straight out from your reverse hyper, put a board in the wall or something like a ledge, like Chris was saying, to hold your feet, and you can do them off the.
Oh, the front where the handles are. Where it
Either
curves
way,
down?
whichever way you want to go. If you want to go to the side, or if you want to
Oh,
go
for a glute ham raise, you mean?
no for a back extension, it'd just be flat instead of a 45.
Okay.
So you just let yourself hang over the edge, and then bring yourself
That's
back
a
up.
really good idea.
You can do it that way too. So you
That's
already
a
have
really good idea.
That'll give you the ability to go. The stability ball doesn't let you go as far, or if you have plyo boxes,
Yeah,
you can do something like that.
that's a good idea.
Do it
Yeah,
that
all
way.
these, really helped when I was organizing the gym. I didn't have it was like deadlift platform here, bars and shit over here, reverse hyper there, and rack here. But the position of it and the space that you have matters so much that
There's some strategery to it.
there really is. I was thinking of a couple different things before I talked to you about where I should put the rack. I had it in an entirely wrong spot. for plate loading, or if I'm training with people or spotters or getting up and out of the bench, or
I should just start a business of laying out gyms because I've moved shit around so many
I'm
times. Like,
serious. Like I
Probably a
would,
market for it.
it would have been frustrating as fuck if the way I set it up, the way that I was thinking I was going to set it up, because now being in there, training in there for over a month now, it would have been a nightmare.
and sometimes it's just as simple as like when you're laying out your gym, like where to put your plates at
Yeah. Yeah.
to make sure they're accessible
Yep.
to multiple things if you need to.
Like there's some things I can get rid of. I just haven't yet. I have enough space to, I guess, store it, but I don't want to be that guy that keeps. If I get something else, I'm going to move the other thing that I don't need. But until then, I'm not moving it.
Now let's go the other way. The most underrated. What do you think is the most overrated? Like, what's the dumbest thing you think you've ever bought for working out? We'll start with Chris. What do you got for your home gym?
Dumb things. That
Was
I
it
have
the
done
home
to.
gym itself and canceling your gym membership? When you had a membership to the best gym in Omaha, but you canceled it to work out at home. But go on otherwise.
Yeah, it probably would. That probably
Okay,
would.
so next question, next guy. So
moving
Matt, you're-
on. Moving on.
No, what do you think the worst? What do you think the?
I don't really have anything that's gimmicky or anything like that. I don't have enough room for stuff like that.
No,
all
thigh,
that-
no thigh master,
no thigh. Oh, I take that back.
shake weight.
What is that thing called? I can't think of it right now.
ab zapper.
You mean the hand job trainer?
The tug. It's
a
the tug
shake
toner.
Yeah.
No,
The
that's
tug toner.
Why would that be?
How is that a waste?
Yeah,
Yeah. So how do you do dynamic effort work with that?
it's what is that thing called? It's like it's basically I can't think what it's called right now.
You're really fucking up right now.
I know. I can't even think what they're
What's
called.
it for? To train? What's it
I
train?
can't even think what the movement's called.
Do you even know what it trains?
It's the bridges with the
Oh,
weights. I can't think what it's
hip
called.
bridge thing?
The hip
Hip
bridge
thruster
thing.
deal.
Hip- yeah. the-
Thingamajig. The ones all the
What's it
chicks
called?
do to like
Like
get
a
attention.
hip thruster?
Yeah, I bought one that's like a platform. with
Oh
bands
yeah,
on
you
it.
have. Yeah, I know what you're talking
Oh,
about. Yeah.
I had
bought
one
of
here
those.
like that Sornex one.
Yeah, and I thought that was kind of.
Here's the thing with the hip thrust. I'm not trying to shit on a hip thrust. A lot of people like to do them, but if you don't have like a ton of space, you can just take a kettlebell and do fucking weight swings, and it's like literally the same fucking thing.
I bought one that's
Seriously,
with
yeah.
bands and.
Was it from Sornex?
No, I can't think of who makes it.
But and if you want to do hip thrust, that's
Not-
cool. I get it, but like you can literally do kettlebell weight swings. Do it with like a minute of those,
Even if you don't have a kettlebell, just learn how to do like some Olympic
or some
lifting
band
movements.
pull throughs. That's what.
Or
pull-throughs
yeah,
were originally.
exactly.
Just
Yeah, yeah,
fucking hook
yeah.
a band up to it
Yeah.
and do pull throughs. We used to do those.
Yeah.
Just walk out from a rack and just fucking thrust.
Yeah, still with your like the cable machines with like tricep extension.
Yeah, you can do it with that. Just
Absolutely.
got to make sure you don't smash your beanbag up on the way
I
by.
know. Yeah.
Yeah, so that'd probably be the most overrated one that I have.
Do you still have it, or did you
I
get
still
rid of
do have it.
Yeah.
Do you
Yeah.
thrust on it?
I haven't in a long time. It's kind of a nice piece. It's nice because it's real small and it folds up, but you just set it down.
There's
the
got to
pad
be
pops
other
up.
shit you can do with that other than just hit. Like you should probably look that up to see if you can do other.
There probably is, but
Like,
I just kind of let it die, and I was like,
I mean, you can't even sit on it for like a stool because it flips forward.
I haven't
so you can't
used
even
it
have a
in-
snack on it. It's a
I haven't
pointless piece
used
of
it in
equipment.
years. So
Can't put my food on it? Fuck off.
I put a
Yeah, that
box of
thing
canes on there and it fucking flipped over. Like you can't even train.
Fucking cane sauce everywhere. Fuck.
but we do have a glued ham raise. So,
I think a glute ham is pretty versatile. You can do a lot of stuff
Yeah.
with them.
but yeah,
You
that
do
was like a
ton
gimmicky
of ab
type
work on
thing
it, too.
That looked cool, and then you get it, and you're like, this thing kind of sucks. But
What about you, Mikey? What do you got?
So what I used to have, and I'll explain what I replaced it with. But I used to have a really small cable machine that you could do low rows, lat pull downs, and it's probably like a pec deck thing on the other side. You know what I mean? Like this old. I mean, this shit was from like the 70s. We got on like Craigslist back before it was just for gay shit. You know.
Yeah, when you did casual encounters and you came across it.
Yeah, and I found out I was like, hey.
Literally.
Yeah, so I might just buy the equipment instead. Walk
Yeah.
away early.
So I was blasting this guy and he had this piece of equipment for
hey,
sale.
what do you do with this cable machine?
So we got that thing,
I just finished. What do you got this cable machine for sale for?
Yeah. Let me show you. Put your foot right here.
and you know it had all the attachments, a couple different like hand positions for low rows, and like the different like the all the other attachments bullshit for it. But I think it's a waste of space because unless you have, and it was kind of a shitty piece of equipment, and that's like the caveat here is that it wasn't a stable, good piece of equipment that moved well. Like the stuff that you have in here, like your cable, like the cage with all the stuff, it moves well, and you have the right attachments, and it's stable, so you can get something out of it, right? That stuff is kind of super short cables or really shitty tension, and the pulleys are fucked up, and it's cheap as waste of space. So I got rid of that when we moved to the other house in Omaha before we went to Texas. I got rid of that, but then I just bought a ton of bands. And I started doing everything that I was going to do with that thing with bands attached to my rack. And it's better. And now I also have tons of bands, which is great.
You can never have too many bands.
No, you really seriously can't.
True.
So that was like a wasted purchase when people are looking at, hey, I'm going to get into like lifting weights, and I'm going to skip the good barbell. I'm going to skip, buying some plates, skip kettlebells and, all the other shit. And I'm going to go buy like a cable machine. That's a bad decision.
Well, especially now, Spud Inc. makes that whole pulley cable system you can hang up and do
It's
all that
amazing.
shit.
Yeah.
And actually, you can make one. Like, I think if you go to fucking Home Depot, you can like make one.
100% can. Yeah.
But those are kind of cool. You can do a lot of cool stuff. But the base idea is a rack.
For
You
sure.
got to have a
And,
decent rack.
yeah. So that was definitely.
And not like we said with Titan, there's no reason you can't have like a good rack.
Titan's fucking great.
It's gotten continuously better
Yeah.
too.
What do you think, Matt? What do you think is the most overrated? Now you haven't bought a lot of pieces. But
I think
Do you have a home gym?
no.
You just got like weird shit outside.
I just have the membership to the best gym in Omaha.
I used to have one of those.
you could still have it.
Yeah, you could still contribute.
Do you?
No.
He lives here. We're friends. It's fine.
Dude.
I've told you before that.
Does he bring you business?
And he goes, "No, it's not a big deal."
It's not. It's fine.
See,
It is a big deal.
It's not. He doesn't want to be here. It's fine.
He said
I
if you
get
moved he said if you moved to Texas, he would move. I heard him say it.
I bring a lot. I have brought a lot of people to the gym, though. That's true.
I've brought my fair share.
Well, what's that fucking look for, huh?
I was waiting. I thought he was going to start ripping some names off.
Yeah,
I don't,
like,
I don't gotta
this
drop
guy,
names.
this
I don't
guy.
gotta
I
drop
brought that
names.
one guy and
I don't
then that
gotta
other
drop
fella.
names.
I get
there's
none of them
nothing-
joined, but I get it.
I'm talking about good members too. Ones that pay and don't show up. Those are the best
Oh,
members.
yeah.
Yeah.
I think I could give you a couple of
You
those.
could be one of those members.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, Mike could be one of those members.
I could be one. Yeah.
I am one of those
You gotta
members.
settle me, baby.
Mike could pay for me to be one of those members.
I have a membership. I don't train, and I just show up and I shop for energy drinks, and I leave.
That's good too.
Yeah.
It's like
And
joining Sam's
Matt is
Club,
the
right?
best. Matt
I had
probably
asked.
is the best
I
member.
saw Derek's wife in here earlier, and I was like, "Does Derek still lift weights?" And then because I know that you guys still do train together, right?
Yeah.
Like, so he was like, "We talked a bunch the other day, but other than that, like,
Yeah, we usually do pretty good. Today we were talking. There's a lot of events going on, So we were talking about those.
all right. So what do you got?
Anything forearm related. Like I haven't bought it, but I think anyone who buys something specifically for forearms or does forearm training.
So, but what about
Is
like the grip
overrated.
stuff?
I think even grip stuff, like
Like the grip machine I have back there and the grip kit?
I think if someone's gonna buy, I don't think the majority of humans should purchase something like that.
I agree with that. Yes, but if
there's
you're like,
there's a place for it, right? Like
Yeah, there
if you are competitive
yep,
and it's in your wheelhouse and like you're a strongman and
Yes.
you can't get enough grip training through just deadlift and training alone. Like you have to have some kind of forearm grip training in particular.
Totally, yeah.
Cool. The vast majority of other human beings don't need
yeah, doing your forms is not going to lose your
they
gut.
they
buddy.
don't you don't need some kind of special grip trainer. You don't need to work in grip training.
Dude, how you going to get these fucking pregnant dinosaurs, though? You never fucking heard that before?
No, let me see that thing.
The fucking pregnant dinosaur? The old
It's all
fucking
veiny.
forearm?
It's probably because your cholesterol's high. Oh no, it's not,
No, it's low. Fucking health, dude.
dude. Mine is too.
I got to work that grip, though, because we're moving those fucking Denny stones up 25 pounds.
True. Ooh.
Oh,
Right.
do you
so
have
like,
some?
If you have to be
I have
competitive,
the Denny
yeah.
stone, the trainer handles back there.
Can we?
They're pre-set up right
Who
now.
can I compete with tomorrow? With that?
Well, they don't. The weights don't change.
I would.
Right now, they're 225 and 325.
All day, baby. Let's do it. Are you running?
We've
with
already
them?
done it. No, we're not running with them. We just got to pick them up.
You-
You probably can't pick them up.
I swear to God, that's fucking hang this phone up right now. I'm gonna do it.
If we were on the phone,
You should
Click.
do it.
fucking dick beater.
100% if it wasn't all.
What was the last time? Like, we did something.
One time we were gonna bench.
Oh, it was reps on the.
There was that
bench.
one time where I
Yeah.
fucking did no warm up your max that time on the log.
I got a story about that.
I was
Is
there.
it good or is it?
he inspired me to do better at log pressing. It's a true story. So to
It is
Brett's
true.
credit, I was just getting into the sport. This was in 2019 when I did my first show, and I was trying to figure it out. I mean, I was lost, but I didn't know how to move like that. I never lifted, never did push press. I never did any of that shit. So he's watching me, and he's not like making me embarrassed. He's just like, hey, like just do your thing. He had the space, and he's fucking leave me alone. And I was like, it's not bad when you suck at the technicals to keep attempting max effort work on a movement like that. That's, to be clear, not a squat, but like a push, like you can miss and it's a very technical thing. And you're like, like I just didn't catch it right or, whatever. So I would just kill myself every whatever day it was. I'd come in here and I would, go up and wait and I'd miss, whatever. And I still trained everything else to like get stronger, but the movement, I just couldn't fucking figure it out. And it was like 205, 225. I don't remember whatever it was. And I just couldn't do it. And he was talking shit per the usual. And he's like walking back into his office here. And he's like, I don't know if I started this shit or he did. He probably fucking gave me a look. And I was like, you know what? Fuck you. If I can't, you fucking do this. Or
And I said, whatever you fucking can't get, I'll come out cold and do it.
And that's 100% what that was the comment. And I missed it again. And I was like, fuck. Like I just couldn't figure it out. The timing on the dip, and I just couldn't figure it out. It's just like so frustrated. And he comes out here, like printing shirts and doing bullshit in here, and just and he just fucking does it. Like just not even breathing heavy. And then after he did that, I didn't learn anything to watch him strict press what I was trying to push press. I was just like pissed. So I did get it.
You did get it right after that.
I did get it right immediately after. It looked like shit. When I look at that old video, my feet were so wide. I did nothing right. It looks like shit.
Yeah, mine didn't look great either. It's just the fact that I did it with no warm up.
But the funny thing is too, is like he gets it. I now I remember even better now. Like he starts pressing and it stops and he just goes, boop. He was like, oh, I guess I should try a little harder. And he like ends up locking it out. And I'm like, what the fuck? And that was frustrating. But story time. Now is Mitchell Cady. Do you know that name?
I feel like I've heard that name, but I don't know it.
So he's a pro strongman out of New Jersey, all natural, drug tested federations, legit, right? I trained with him and Clint 2 weeks ago or whatever that was, and he was there, and we benched, then we log pressed, and because I didn't want to do anything incredibly difficult, I just wanted to move my shoulders a little bit. Probably really didn't need to after benching with the shirt and doing chins and stuff. I just really didn't need to do shoulder shit. But Pro Strongman was there and Clint's there, and I'm like, we're fucking log press. That's what we're doing. And if you get around a group of guys, like especially in that sport, and you've already done what you're supposed to do for that day, everything else is a competition. Like we trained the bench and we did that thing and we're kind of done. It's like, hey, they got a log. Want to fucking one motion a log and see who better one motion presser? Like, what are you, like a secret really good one motion presser? And I was like,
AKA the old Viper press.
yeah, yes. And I'm like, no. He's like, what do you weigh? And I was like, I was 198 that day. So what do you weigh? I'm 246. Let's do it. I mean, Clint's here, Mitchell's here. We got some other guys that drove in from like Indianapolis and stuff, and everyone's there. And of course, everything turns into fucking competition quick. And it's like the warm up is not a. It's like do the log.
Competitive.
Yeah, the log sucks. It's not as heavy, like empty. It's like 160. Like that's a warm up. Like fuck, we're doing that. So a couple of like strict presses, and then a couple like one Viper presses, one motions, whatever you want to call it. And we just start adding weight. And he's a really, really good. He has the record for bag to shoulders, like 407 bag to his shoulder. He is an adult. And like shitty warm up, no belt on a phone call. Is pulling like 705 for sets of 2, and it's like on his computer. It's fucking pissed me off. Strong as fuck, right? Really is. And he's a really good clean and jerk type presser. Super super fast. He was telling me how much he hated shoulder pressing movements. I was like, man, naturally I'm getting a lot better at that. Yeah, let's do this thing. Like, yeah, I'll go toe to toe the whole time. So long story short, I did beat him. Right.
Good.
I one motion the weight that he couldn't, so he had to clean and jerk it, right, to get it. But then like 30 seconds later, he like picks up a 400-pound sandbag and puts it on his shoulder, and I was like,
Show off.
stupid.
I'm going to Cracker Barrel.
Yeah, I was like, I'm gonna go to the hotel and drink, I guess. But that's the evolution of log pressing. Is starting here in your gym, figuring
Being
out the
shamed.
sport, and even with the coach, you just can't. You just have to figure you out. Like it was, why are you wearing Olympic lifters? And like, I don't know. I watch Olympic lifters lift, and they wear them, and it seems like it works out. And you're like, just take those off. And now I literally have a pair of those barefoot shoes. That's what I log press in.
Yeah, I think it pitches you too far forward.
Totally does. It really does. And when you're trying to learn the skill and actually like move the way you're
I think
supposed to,
Olympic lifter like the shoes are way overrated. But that's a whole different podcast.
they're
They're severely overrated.
I understand that. I do have the best comfort, which is not an argument because I understand why it's not the most optimal, but I'm most comfortable squatting in them. But I know that that's not optimal because I'm comfortable because of ankle mobility and those other things. But squatting is also
Yeah.
Stupid.
Yeah, I think we really informed everybody of some things.
maybe. Dinner tonight.
Yeah.
I'm excited about that. I really always, this isn't like blowing smoke or anything like that. I really love you guys a lot. And I appreciate coming back every time. It's awesome. So
It's always a good time. And we found that Chris does hip thrusters to fill out his Daisy Dukes over here.
you put on some good weight,
Thanks, Mike. I appreciate that.
like not fat. Like your legs are big. Like he's got pretty big legs.
Well, with all that thrusting.
Right.
Is that how you?
Yeah. Sorry.
It's more in the glutes, with the thrusting,
Your VMO is huge.
Yes. Yes.
It's the one that everyone tries to train to look cool for Instagram picture and
The
short
teardrop.
shorts. Yeah.
Yeah, you got to get that going.
Yeah.
Never had that.
I do probably because I walk stupid. Like
Probably because he blew him off walking across the fucking yard.
I've never had like that.
they're
teardrop.
probably stuck against the wall of your shed.
Probably just glued down somewhere, just stapled inside my knees. Like,
My legs
never,
are so nice. I used to be fat.
Never had that.
That's calves.
Dude, that's
I tell him all the time.
calves.
I tell everybody
Yeah.
all the time, you want good calves, just be fucking fat for a
Get
while.
fat.
Yeah.
You get
It's a
calves.
great, yeah.
Just be fat and like walk places, like to the fridge.
Yep.
Fucking veins coming out. The thing
All
is,
right, fuck, I
the
guess I'll
fat
walk
people that
and eat
have
this
nice
pizza.
like lower legs wear shorts that should actually go down to just show their lower legs, and they feel like their lower leg looks so good they should show their ass, and you're like, you got it backwards.
No, it's because they cover the mid leg to their like lower ass. And then their ass falls out of the shorts at the top, and they're fucking.
Yeah.
It's like top of calf, shorts, bottom of ass.
There's a Venn diagram that shows exactly how
Yeah.
to buy shorts.
But
Thanks again.
all right, Mike, it's always good having you on.
Cheers.
Well, hope you guys learned something. Hope you can be a little less shitty every day. Drive fast, take chances, and like, subscribe, share, follow, and we'll see you next time.
See ya.